You know, for the most daring Coast Guard rescue mission, didn't really feel that daring.
Pick yourself a crew and you assist that ship.
It's your job to go out, right?
Coast Guard, they say you gotta go out. They don't say you gotta come back in.
The Finest Hours stars Chris Pine, Casey Affleck, Eric Bana, Ben Foster, and Holliday Grainger. So there were, in a long time ago, I can't remember the year, there was like a massive blizzard and there was a ship that got like, because it was such rough seas, it got split in half. So there's these crew of 36 men, they're on this like ship, they're floating, and they need the Coast Guard to go rescue them. So they end up going to get so Chris Pine is sent out with like Ben Foster and 2 other guys, and they're sent out to go get them. But that's like the second half of the movie, because the first half is kind of like Chris Pine and his relationship with Holliday Grainger, because it's kind of like a romance for the first half an hour or so, and then they go out to sea and all that. This movie is good enough to say that there are definitely the best parts of the movie in those scenes, I would say. Some of them are great, some of them aren't, but every scene involved that has Casey Affleck, like Casey Affleck was great in the movie. In like every scene in the tanker and with Casey Affleck, those scenes I really enjoyed. They were by far the best parts of the movie, which kind of says something, because the lead up to the rescue mission, like when they're on the sea just driving the boat, it like nothing much is happening, and then you cut to the tanker and it's just kind of like Casey Affleck's trying to get all these men to work together to help survive. Chris Pine and Ben Foster were both very good in this movie. Don't know which performance was better for Chris Pine, whether it would be like this or Star Trek Beyond, but then again, I haven't seen Hell or High Water and heard Ben Foster's great in that, as well as Chris Pine is in that. The chemistry between everyone was also very good. You really got a sense of camaraderie when they're on the tanker, and like there's this, I think it's like a one shot where they're going through all the where they're going through meeting all the crew or something like that, but you're meeting all the crew and you're like starting to understand the dynamic between the whole group. And another thing that was commendable for the movie was that the movie's whole scenery, that they're on the ship, that they're just sailing about, the whole scenery, it felt cold. Like you felt cold watching all the scenes when they're on the sea. You're like, yeah, can I get a jacket, please? If there are flaws for the movie, I would say the love story that I touched on between Holliday Grainger and Chris Pine, that kind of seemed to bog down the movie just a little bit. I feel like they tried to go for a more of a rescue mission approach, but they ended up becoming some sort of like biopic on Chris Pine's character in that situation, where he like was with Holliday Grainger and he's like in a relationship with Holliday Grainger, and then he goes out to sea. And another thing is that the movie has forgettable chunks. Like there are forgettable chunks of the movie. There's a few scenes that I remember, but somehow the movie's almost 2 hours long, and how the whole movie sets itself up, I'm struggling to remember, because I remember there's like scenes here, scenes there, scenes there. Could have been like an 80-minute movie and I would have been like, yeah, it makes sense, but I don't know where all the time went in between those scenes. It's just very forgettable. I'm going to give my score now, because right after I'm going to talk about some a spoilerish thing, but some people would still consider it spoilers. So I'm going to give my score, then you guys can leave, like and subscribe and all that, and then I'm going to talk about my spoilerish thing. For me, The Finest Hours is one and done. And now for the spoilery-ish thing. Okay, so on the rescue mission on the way up, the boat with Chris Pine and Ben Foster in the boat and all those guys there, it takes like half an hour for them to get to the tanker. But as soon as they get to the tanker, it's like a 5-10 minute sequence of all the guys getting onto the boat. Then 5 minutes they get from the tanker back to the shore with everyone okay for the most part. And like there's no drama or anything like that. It's just raining and everyone's pretty cold. And it's just kind of felt like, well, if it took 5 minutes to get back from the tanker, why did it have to take half an hour for them to get to shore to the tanker? Anyway, have you seen The Finest Hours? What did you think of it? What's your favorite movie that takes place out at sea? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to become a Platypus, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh wow, you made it to the end of the video. Good job. How about you click that subscribe button for more content? Or click one of these 2 videos. You know, either one's good enough.